America, the land of opportunity, faces a silent crisis. We pay exorbitant prices for life-saving medications. These costs are crippling for millions. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Americans deserve a break. For years, politicians have promised relief, but the problem persists. Drug companies argue that high prices fund innovation, but how much profit is enough? Meanwhile, Americans are forced to choose between their health and their wallets. The system is broken, something has to change, and President Trump, never one to shy away from a fight, has thrown down the gauntlet. In a move that sent shockwaves through the healthcare industry, President Trump made a bold decision. Trump signed a sweeping executive order aimed at tackling one of the most pressing issues in healthcare today. The goal? To slash drug prices by up to 80%, making essential medications more affordable for millions of Americans. His weapon of choice? The most favored nation policy, a strategy designed to leverage international pricing. This policy is simple, audacious, and potentially revolutionary, aiming to transform the pharmaceutical landscape. It mandates that the U.S. pay no more for drugs than the lowest price negotiated by any other country, ensuring fair pricing. Essentially, America is leveraging its buying power to force pharmaceutical companies to lower their prices, benefiting consumers. It's a bold move, one that has drawn both praise and criticism from various stakeholders in the healthcare sector. Supporters hail it as a long overdue victory for consumers, who have struggled with high drug prices for years. Critics, however, warn of potential unintended consequences, such as reduced innovation and availability of new drugs. Will it work? Only time will tell, as the policy unfolds and its impacts become clearer. But one thing's for sure, Trump has put the pharmaceutical industry on notice, signaling a new era in drug pricing. The potential benefits of the executive order are undeniable. It aims to address some of the most pressing issues in the healthcare system today. Lower drug prices would ease the financial burden on millions of Americans, making essential medications more accessible to those in need. It could also lead to significant savings for Medicare and Medicaid, potentially freeing up resources for other critical healthcare services. But there are concerns. Pharmaceutical companies argue that the policy would stifle innovation, claiming that reduced profits would mean less money for research and development. They claim that reduced profits would mean less money for research and development, which is crucial for discovering new treatments and cures. This, they argue, could lead to fewer life-saving drugs in the future, potentially impacting the overall quality of healthcare. There's also the question of implementation. How will the government ensure that the policy is enforced effectively? How will the government determine the lowest price for each drug and ensure that these prices are fair and sustainable for all parties involved? And how will it prevent pharmaceutical companies from simply raising prices in other countries to offset their losses? The stakes are high. The success or failure of this policy could have far-reaching consequences for the healthcare industry and for patients around the world, shaping the future of global healthcare. The executive order has ignited a firestorm of controversy, sparking intense debates across the nation. The pharmaceutical industry is up in arms, vowing to fight the policy in court. They are mobilizing their legal teams and preparing for a protracted battle. They argue that it's government overreach and a threat to free markets. Legal experts are weighing in, predicting a complex and lengthy legal process. Politicians are divided along party lines, with heated debates unfolding in Congress and at political rallies. Republicans largely support the move, seeing it as a necessary step to curb pharmaceutical power, while Democrats express cautious optimism, mixed with concerns about execution and long-term impact. They worry about potential unintended consequences. Public opinion, however, appears to be firmly behind Trump. Many Americans are celebrating the decision, hopeful for relief from exorbitant drug prices. Polls show that a majority of Americans support the executive order. Surveys indicate a strong desire for change in the pharmaceutical industry. They're tired of being held hostage by high drug prices, which have been a burden for far too long. The public's frustration is palpable. The road ahead will be long and arduous. Legal challenges are inevitable and the outcome remains uncertain. The stakes are incredibly high. But one thing is clear. The fight for affordable healthcare has just entered a new chapter. The nation watches closely as this battle unfolds, hoping for a future where healthcare is accessible to all.